Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. Ireland lose to England. What a game. What a day of Six Nations rugby we've seen. Two absolute nail-biters. Italy holding off Scotland earlier, and now England coming from behind with an 80-minute drop goal from Marcus Smith to win the game for England. What a performance, what a moment, what a championship we have had so far. We've had phenomenal results, and the big news is this means we go into the final weekend with the championship still alive, because England will go into the final weekend with 12 points. They'll be able to mathematically catch Ireland if Scotland were to beat them. Scotland also mathematically can catch Ireland to win the Six Nations, but will need to have a ridiculously big points difference if that is to happen. So, yeah, very big weekend next weekend. But let's talk about this game, shall we? And it was always going to have to take England's absolute best to do it, and they brought it. I thought they were really, really good. The best I've seen them play under Steve Borthwick, to be honest. And they set the tone nice and early. So Jack Crowley got things underway in the second minute with an early penalty for Ireland, before Ollie Lawrence went over for the first try in the third minute. Ford adding the extras, although Ford Ford actually missed the conversion. Didn't bring his kicking boots. I think England left 10 points off out there on the boot. So not the best day from the kicking tee. But Ford added a penalty in the 60th minute before then Crowley added 3 penalties, 90th minute, 34th minute, 40th minute. And it was quite annoying if you're an England fan watching it, because it was the case of England doing really well, Ireland getting into their zone, winning a penalty, taking the points. And I thought England played more of the rugby in the first half. It was probably one of the poorest halves we've seen from Ireland in recent times. And England went into the half with a lot of momentum despite not having the lead. But the worst possible start in the second half, James Lowe going over in the 43rd minute. But that was cancelled out by Furbank going over in the 47th minute. Once again, Crowley missing the conversion, as did Ford. Peter O'Mahony got a yellow card in the 57th minute, and England made a count with Ben Earl, who had a phenomenal second half, going over in the 59th minute. This time, Marcus Smith onto the park, making no mistake from right in front. James Lowe went over in the 72nd minute, but once again, very importantly, Crowley missing that conversion to make it a 2-point game, 20 points to 22 with 8 minutes to go. And England penalty advantage, so they pretty much have the win wrapped up. Marcus Smith saying, I'm not going to waste any time. Slots back into the pocket, chips the ball over for a drop goal. Bang, 80 minutes, 23 points to 22. Let's look at some of the stats, by the way. Minutes in the lead, England had 45 to Ireland's 34. If you look at the possession in the last 10 minutes, England was 66%. It's a very interesting thing with Ireland averaging 2.2 points per entry, whereas England just 1.5. They had 13 entries, though, compared to Ireland's 7. Showed you how much England were in the fight. If we look at the ruck speed, for example, pretty similar. England had a very good ruck speed. They played at a good tempo today, which I thought was an important part of them actually going on to win the match. It was a very big difference from them. So if we look at some of the stats, for example, territory 56% to 44%, 37% of the game being played in Ireland's 22. So, England really had a lot of opportunity there. Possession overall was 53 to 47. England's set piece was very good. They had a 100% scrum success rate compared to Ireland's 60%. They're 93% lineouts compared to Ireland's 85%. Only kickoffs needed a bit of work, I think, from England. On the attack, though, they had more passes, more carries, almost twice as many, 332 post-contact meters compared to 174. Shows you just how impressive that was. Breakdown-wise, with Ireland were a bit better. Discipline-wise, England conceding 10 penalties to Ireland's 8. Defensively, England making 87% of the tackles to 85%. So maybe Felix Jones's system starting to kick into place and starting to produce some results. If we look at some of the stats, Mario told you with 3 dominant tackles. If we look at tackles completed, George Martin, who I thought was absolutely immense, 14. Ollie Lawrence with 14 as well. If we look at carries, Ben Earl with 11. If we look at, for example, defenders beaten, Ben Earl had 8. Ferrier Boso got 5. I think he'll start again next week. Was really impressive. Bandiaki was really good for Ireland. If we look at carries per minute, for example, Ben Earl 0.14 carries per minute for the entire 80 minutes. Shows you how involved he was. If we look at the tackles made, Caelan Doris the top with 17, George Martin with 17, Ollie Lawrence with 15. That's just been updated. Very, very impressive victory This will now beg the question, does this mean that Ireland is in fact the best team in the world? How good does it mean England can be? All these sort of questions will be answered in the next year as we find out exactly what the rugby pyramid and the rugby world order looks like. But in the meantime, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.